Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Siti Anisa Atsari. I'm from class 3A at English Educational Department in Anisa Riau. And now I want to tell advanced material word order from my friend Indanul Wahyuni. Let's start. Even, look at the example. Our football team lost yesterday. We all played badly. Bill is our best player, but yesterday even Bill played badly. We can use even to say that something is unusual or surprising. They say even Bill played badly because he is a good player and it is unusual for him to play badly. If he played badly, it must have been a bad day for the team. Here's another example. These photographs are not very good. Even I could take better photograph than this. It means I'm certainly not a good photographer, so they must be bad. And then, it's a very rich country. Even the poorest people own cars. It means so the rich people must be very rich. Even with the verb in the middle of a sentence. For the example, Don has traveled all over the world. He has even been to the Antarctic. It means it's very unusual to go to the Antarctic, so he must have traveled a lot. And then he always wears a tie. He even wears a tie in bed. Here are some examples with not even. I can't cook. I can't even boil an egg. It means, so I certainly can cook, because boiling an egg is very simple. And then they were not very friendly to us. They didn't even say hello. And you can use even with comparatives like hotter, I'm more surprised, or etc. It was very hot yesterday, but today it's even hotter. And then another example. I know I didn't have much money, but if got even less than I thought. And you can use even with if, when, and thought. For example, I will probably see you tomorrow, but even if I don't, we're sure to see each other before the weekend. And then she never shouts even when she's angry. He has broke a car even though he can drive. Next, as for time. As for time, that is two things happening together. You can use as when two things happen at the same time or over the same period of time. For example, I watched her as she opened the letter. And then as they walked along the street, they looked in the store windows. You can use as especially for two short actions happening at the same time. Example, George arrived as I left. It means he arrived and I left at the same time. And then we all waved goodbye to Tom as he drove away in his car. And then you can also use just as. It means exactly at that moment. For example, George arrived just as I left. And then just as I sat down, the phone rang. And we also use as when to change happen over the same period of time. For example, as the day we're on, the weather got worse. And then I began to enjoy the job more as I got used to it. Next, as for time, one thing happening during another. You can say that you did something as you were doing something else. It means in the middle of doing something else. When we use as in this way, both actions are usually quite short. For example, the man slipped as he was getting off the train. And then the thief was seen as he was climbing over the wall. You can also use just as. Example, just as we were going out, it started to rain. For note that we use as only if to actions happen together, do not use as if one action follows another. For example, when I got home, I talk about, not as I got home. Next, ask for reason. As sometimes means because. For example, as I was feeling tired, I went to bed early. Means because I was feeling tired. Another example, as they live near us, we see them quite often. Like and I. Like similar to I the same as I. For example, what a beautiful house. It's like a palace, not as a palace. Why do you always talk about boring things like your job? Like is a preposition, so it's followed by a noun like a palace, like I like your job. A pronoun like me, I like this, or ing like walking. You can also say like for someone or something plus ing. For example, what's that noise? It sounds like a baby crying. We use as before a subject plus a verb. For example, don't move anything. Leave everything as it is. Compare like and as in the sentence. You should have done it like this. Like plus pronoun. You should have done it as I showed you. As plus subject plus verb. But we use such as, for example, without a verb. Some sports, such as auto racing, can be dangerous. And as plus subject plus verb can be other meanings. For example, do as you are told. It means do what you are told. They did as they promised. Means they did what they promised. You can also say as you know, or as we expect, or as I said, or as I thought, and etc. For example, as you know, it's Tom's birthday next week. Means you know this already. And failed her driving test as we expect. As can also be a preposition, which means you can use it with a noun, but the meaning is different from like. For example, she looks beautiful, like a princess. It means she is not really a princess. Everything is sick at home. Our house is like a hospital. It means it is not really a hospital. As if. You can use as if to say how someone or something looks, sounds, feels, and etc. For example, the house looked as if nobody was living in it, and sounds as if she's got a cold, doesn't she? Compare this sentence. You look tired. Look plus adjective. You look as if you have not slept. Look plus as if plus subject plus verb. Tom sound worried. Sound plus adjective. Tom sound as if he was worried. Sound plus as if plus subject plus verb. You can also say it looks, sounds, smells as if, for, or as tough. For example, Tom is very late, isn't he? It looks as if he's not coming. Do you hear the music next door? It sounds as if they are having a party, doesn't it? It smells as though someone has been smoking in here. After it looks, sounds, smells, many people use like instead of as if, as tough. For example, it looks like Tom isn't it coming? You can also use as if with other verbs to say how someone does something. For example, he ran as if he were running for his life. And when I told them my plan, they looked at me as if I were insane. After us, if we sometimes use the past when we are talking about the present. For example, I don't like Norman. He talks as if he knew everything. The mean is not past in the sentence. We use the past as if he knew, because the idea is not real. Norman does not know everything. We use the past in the same way in if sentence after which and then after which. When we use the past in the way, we use were instead of was. For example, Harry's only 50. Why do you talk about him as if he were or was an old man? And then they treat me as if I were or was their own son. It means I'm not their son. Okay, maybe that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. See you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.